Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start off this morning with these absolutely fabulous photos that were put up by Jojo Marsh on Twitter, and these are different villages through England and their houses, and they look like just fairy tales, you know, like you could just step right into one. It's just crazy. Love them though. All right, I'm throwing this email up. I said that I didn't think I was that popular because Murky Meg has over 100,000 subscribers, so does Taz. And I said, I'm one of the smaller ones. Well, this young lady said that when she types YouTube Sue on her home PC, Sue Smith is the one that pops up. Well, then she said she was in Copenhagen in Denmark, and she, different computer, different location, and she typed in YouTube Sue, and I popped up, so I must be popular. Yay! Now, she said I could use this email and mention her name if I could pronounce it. Here we go. Angeline Ruger. How's that? Is that right? I hope so. All right, let's go. All right. A lot of stuff is coming out about this book. So we have a lot to cover again today. Now, yesterday's video was 22 minutes long. This one will not be that long. Okay? Let's just get in there and see what we can do. Let's go. Next, I want to say thank you to Queen Gertie for this photo. A thank you to the Duchess of Montachite show for this photo. And a thank you to the above Getter user for this photo. Love it. Some more excerpts are coming out now from this book. By the way, I pre-ordered the book. It's supposed to be here in 4 days. When it arrives, you will not be getting a video from me because I will be devouring the book. Anyway, some more excerpts are coming out. Apparently, Meghan immediately disingratiated herself from all of Harry's friends when they were at Sandringham for the shoot. Anytime anybody cracked a joke, she apparently stood there and told him off and tried to, quote unquote, put him straight. And it got to the point where the friends were discussing behind Harry's back, why is he dating her? Because she's crazy. Other people were able to see this, but for some reason, Harry couldn't. Like I said, I can't wait to get my hands on this book. Here's another excerpt that came out about a meeting Harry and Meghan that they had about the daily operations of their foundation, that they wouldn't be in charge. Apparently, Meghan was shocked by that. This book is really, I have to read it. I have to read it. Now, one of my followers sent this to me saying that she found it interesting that in 1989, there was a woman apparently from Michigan who wrote to the advertisers of the show that her father was the lighting director on, Married with Children, and that the episode she had was too sexist. And then in 1993, Meghan wrote that letter to Procter & Gamble, and people are now wondering if she got the idea for it from her dad because of what happened with the show. That's actually a possibility. All right, moving on. Remember, Harry and Meghan put out the story that they were invited to Balmoral, but they're too busy to make the trip. So people are saying that if that is true, then his decision not to return to the UK is another big blunder, because Harry is missing out on a very rare opportunity to have one-on-one time with the Queen. Supposedly, he's her favorite grandchild. That's what he tells everybody anyway. And, he's got a lot to say, and he apparently couldn't get to the Queen because of her private secretary. So here was his chance. And he blew it. All right. It's coming out now also in the book that while the entire family was preparing for Prince Philip's funeral, Harry is said to have known that a month later he was going to be betraying his family. Now, of course, we know that there were issues during the funeral, that one of Peter Phillips had to be put between Harry and William, and everybody was watching to see what was going to happen. And in the Times, it was written that people were watching whether Harry had any regret towards his family, because apparently he side-glanced Harry, but no one was really understanding why he was so nervous. But 4 weeks later, his Apple TV series came out where he once again lambasted his entire family. It's being said that when Harry left the chapel, he was tapping the order of service against his thigh because he was impatient and he wanted to get back to California as quickly as possible because he knew, not because he missed Meghan, but because he knew he'd betrayed his whole family. Now, we know that the show broadsided the family again, but it made the rift between William and Harry wider because the book says that Harry denounced William, the same person that he previously had said was the only person he could trust, and he dishonored Charles, whom he had previously thanked for being so kind, for causing the cycle of genetic pain. And he criticized the Queen. I'm like, come on. Oh my God. Now, also in this book, Revenge, it's being reported that the Queen and Charles were absolutely exasperated with Meghan because they basically asked her to fix the relationship with her dad and she refused. Now, remember, Meghan said that it was because he had a heart attack. Thomas Markle said it was because he was embarrassed due to the staged photographs. But Thomas BOWER wrote that the reasons given by Meghan not to fly to his home in Mexico for the reconciliation had started to make Charles and the Queen very angry. And it showed cracks between the royal family and the Sussexes that had started way before January of 2020. Apparently, Charles became very irritated because he didn't understand what Meghan wanted or what she or what he just didn't understand her. But that irritation hit a head when Thomas Markle went on TV and criticized the royal family. And at that point, Charles said, "Can't Meghan just go and see him and make this stop?" He couldn't understand Harry's explanation that Meghan refused to telephone because she suspected his phone was not in his possession and his email account was compromised. So her excuses not only irritated Charles, but also the Queen. So also apparently Charles, Harry, and Meghan gathered for a call during a break together at the castle. And she got into that meeting, and at the outset, they urged Meghan to fly to America for a reconciliation, and she said, "No, it's unrealistic to think I can fly discreetly to Mexico, arrive unannounced at his doorstep, to secure to a location, to a place I've never known, to a small border town, and hopefully, speak privately with my dad without causing a media frenzy." Yeah. Another excerpt from the book that came out that said that Harry and Meghan were more than an arm's length away from the rest of the family, especially when it came to the balcony seating. And as it turns out, according to Tom BOWER, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were dead set on getting a spot next to the Queen because they brought the kids. But Charles said no, and the Queen co-signed by not granting their wishes. And right after that, Harry and Meghan left. Now we know why they left. And that really explains what this interview was really all about. Next up, I wanted to remind everybody, I love what According to Taz wrote here. This is a reminder that Meghan was wild about Harry, and that was a headline that had been used before, and it is creepy. I agree. Now, another thing that was in the book was that Meghan Markle was apparently convinced by Harry and her Hollywood team that she could be as beloved as the Princess Diana. Yeah. Now, we all know that she wants to be Princess Diana 2.0. We have heard this from her friends. She was obsessed with Diana before she met Harry. We've already heard it before. Before she even met Harry, there are pictures of her wearing outfits that were identical to Diana's. But Harry apparently told her that she could be as loved as Diana. And I've told you guys before, the way that I think she went to her stylists, and I think she said, "I want you to take all these outfits from Diana, and I want you to redo them and bring them up to speed," I guess is the word I'm air quoting, bring them up to speed so that they are, contemporary looks of what Diana would have worn. I think that's what she did. I honestly do. As well as the whole psychological thing with Harry. Remember, Harry wants to save his mother. Harry couldn't save his mother, so he's going to save Meghan. Remember, he said that she's dead because she dated somebody who wasn't white. He made no mention of the car crash that occurred because the driver was drunk and his mother wasn't wearing a seatbelt. No, the whole thing was because the man she was dating wasn't white. And you know who put that in her head. We all know who put that in his head. Right? We know, which is why he said in the Me You Can't See that they won't stop until she's dead. Get it? I'm telling you guys, this is the stuff that she has fed to Harry, and Harry, for whatever reason, bought it hook, line, and sinker. He honestly believes that she's like the Diana incarnate, which is really creepy and disgusting. The book also says that Harry was venting his anger because apparently he and Meghan demanded prominent roles at the Platinum Jubilee and they were denied. I reported to you guys before he wanted to be on the balcony alongside the Queen, and he asked the Queen's advisors. They were resistant, and when that failed, he went to see the Queen on the way to the Invictus Games, and that failed too. That was when Harry gave the interview, and he said, for NBC's Today Show, where he said he wanted to make sure the monarchy was protected and the Queen had the right people around her. Harry basically showed in those moments the danger of his appearance at the Jubilee celebrations because everything was about him and Meghan. There you go. He said that being with her, it was great. And it was so nice to see her, and she's on great form, and she has a great sense of humor, and I'm just making sure she's protected. Anyway, they didn't get what they wanted. And that's why they jetted home early before everything even finished. They didn't get the money shot of their daughter with the Queen. They didn't get to stand on the balcony with the Queen. Remember, the only connection they have to Netflix is because they have stuff with the Queen. And the Queen is not a stupid woman. She knew what was going on, and that's why she put the kibosh on it. Another story in the book that I have no trouble believing is it claims that Harry and Meghan went through social media in order to look for anything that was slightly negative. And the second they found it, they were demanding that it be, expunged from media, from the internet. Even though they had success every day and they had glowing photographs, the mood apparently around them was rude. Apparently, every morning they turned on their phones, they started surfing the net, they were inflamed by the slightest criticism, and they would bombard the staff with demands to have it removed. It's just insanity. All right, next up, I just had to show this because I showed you guys not long ago where there was a message from Omid Scobie where he put out that Meghan's father had always been horrible and there's nothing wrong with, essentially, I don't remember the exact wording. It was something about essentially sloughing off, that toxic parents or whatever. Well, here's a note that she wrote him that was on her TIG. Here's something she wrote him in 2016. Where she wished him happy Father's Day, and she wrote a wonderful thing to him. Here's what she wrote in 2017, right before she met Harry. Now, you'll have to freeze the screens to read it, but it basically talks about what a wonderful father Thomas Markle was. All the wonderful things he did for her. She lays it out. He's such a great dad, and he took me to my tap dances, and we went out to lunch, and we did here and we did there. Just freeze the pages and read it so you can see how she actually felt about her dad right up until she met Harry. I don't think she's reached out to him yet, and he's still unable to speak from what I understand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to address the elephant in the room. I went on a live stream with Avid and Wally, and I was talking about the fact that I had been doxxed by Christopher Bouzy. We all know he put out my full name, my age, the state I live in, what I do for a living, what my husband does for a living, my son's autism diagnosis, and he continually says he didn't dox me, even though we know that with the information he gave out, all somebody has to do is Google, and there's my information. He keeps insisting that he did not dox me, but the internet never forgets. And as you can see, here's somebody's response. She was easy to find. So yes, him putting out that information, even though the First Amendment grants me the right of anonymity, and he, on the other hand, is a public person who's giving interviews right and left to every magazine known to man, I'm afraid that doesn't put us on the same level playing field, if that makes any sense. Now he's put up tweets with absolute lies in them. First of all, I noticed after doxing me and putting out my name everywhere, now he's decided to use my Twitter handle instead of my real name. A little late for that, but he put down that a reporter asked me to provide proof of doxing, cyberbullying, and cyberstalking, and I couldn't produce proof. Notice he doesn't give the name of the supposed reporter. He would have to actually show proof because that was never asked of me, and the only reporter that I spoke to was after I was off of YouTube, and that reporter did not ask for proof of anything. So this is an absolute lie. I think somebody's getting a little nervous. So anyway, to get back to it, I think he's finally gone too far with his, well, I think he went too far with me, but now he's really gone too far because he's picking on Trevor. That's not going to go well. What Mr. Bouzy did was he took a clip of the live and cut out a section to fit his narrative, and he pinned it to his wall to make it look like he personally was threatened. Now, here's the clip to actually show you what was said. Watch this. Two more things. Number one, notice that nobody's mentioning this person's color because nobody cares. There's only one person who cares about the color, and that would be Mr. Bouzy. Number two, warning, Trevor Colt has a very colorful language, colorful words. Okay, watch this.
But I used to get, Twitter has a thing where you can have 5 handles. You can have 5 accounts on Twitter. So what I had to do was, whenever I was being trolled non-stop for a year from an individual, I had to get retired Met Cops friends involved to track down basically their digital footprint on Twitter. We were able to find it on Facebook, find it where they were on Facebook. We then got an IP address and linked it all together. And then I just drove up to their house. Fucking simple. That's how you deal with trolls. You fucking put them on their back.
You can't do that here because here everybody carries a gun. You're going to get shot if you do that here in the United States.
Trust me. There's ways to deal with trolls. Never let them win.
In the United States, it's the legal way, which is what we're doing, which is what I'm doing now. I'm dealing with one big troll who likes to constantly put up where I live, what I do, what my husband does. Told the whole world my son had autism. Like, you know, that's
shoot him.
That's not
fucking
cool.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Tell me where about I know people that will fucking wipe him out for you.
So as you can see, somebody's name was never mentioned, but and Trevor's comment was a tongue-in-cheek comment. But of course, somebody turned this into a victim mentality. I wonder where he got that idea from. And now this stuff is coming out like you see above. This is an example of how the internet trolls soft to swat, and they don't even watch the video, which, by the way, I'm putting a link to it in the description box, which explains how I was doxxed. I have all my receipts. I have all the tweets. I have everything. He just won't admit what he did. That's his problem. And I'm also going to go ahead and link the very first video I did that got this whole thing with him started. Because when you are a public figure and you're making statements, I, as a private citizen, have the right to critique what you say. It's called free speech. But he's calling other people hate accounts, and come to find out, he's running a hate account against the royal family. So I'm going to link that video up in the description box for you as well. Now, just to show you the integrity that I happen to have, I want you guys to listen to this. Earlier, people, and I will say if somebody forces me to do something. When I left the ER, people said, you left because of he who shall not be named, because he's trolling you and he's having the Sussex Squad, and that's why you left. No, that's not why I left the ER. I left the ER because after 27 years, I would walk up to the door and go, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. My point is, I won't let even Bouzy, I'm not even going to let him take the blame for me leaving the ER because he's not why I left. I could have easily said, now that he's doxed me, I have to go. But I'm not going to do that. I left because I think I have PTSD after 27 years. So I'm not going to let him take the blame for something that he's not responsible for. But that just shows you that, I have integrity. Just like the tweets he's put out where I was asked for the information that it's not true. That's a flat out lie. But here's what I said at the end of this live. So listen to this. Can I just say you shouldn't hate anybody?
No, hate is a very strong word.
Hate is very strong.
I never realized that until I went online.
They're misguided, and sometimes they need things to get them to realize their issues, whether it's beliefs or whatever. But you never hate anybody.
I never realised that. I used to use hate very loosely.
So, as you guys heard in the live, I'm handling things the legal way. You guys do not have to worry about me. Everything is going to be okay. I hear a lot of yakking from him, but that's typical. Don't worry. What I want are your thought process on the BOWER book that's coming out from the excerpts that they've released. I'm absolutely stunned. Okay, so I ordered my book. It's called the book. God help me, I hope I'm saying this right. It's called the Book Repository, and I ordered it free shipping. It was $18 for the paperback, and when it comes, you won't be hearing from me because I'm going to rip through that book all in one go. So, don't forget to leave those comments below. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, Getter, Rumble. You can email me. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund and through my thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.